So I want to react to this today. It's coming in from Tom Pinacero on the Rich Eisen show. And he talks about what would happen if Jamar Chase refused to play and claiming that he is injured. So if we remember back a couple days ago, Adam Schefter was very vocal and very angry too as well on ESPN, saying that all Chase has to do is say he's hurt. He can say he's hurt and he doesn't have to play. He can say he's hurt every single game of the season and refuse to play. Well, there is things that can and cannot happen, and Tom Pinacero kind of goes against Adam Schefter's point that Chase could do that. Let's go ahead and listen up to what he has to say. I'll give my thoughts and opinions after.
Because otherwise your contract tolls and you'd be under contract for another year with your team. The hold-in, I think I've explained this here before, it's not a thing. There is no hold-in in the CBA. This is literally an invention in the last 10 years where agents have kind of pushed this of, hey, you're going to go in Ayuk's case, you're going to say, hey, my back's kind of sore. And you milk that for like 6 weeks, okay? But that's not something you're technically allowed to do. At any point, the team can do what the 49ers did 2 days ago, which is he passed his physical. We expect him to practice. And once he didn't, now you can fine him. With Jamar Chase, all Zach Taylor has said repeatedly, he said the other day he's fully healthy. So again, there's your clue that this is not something now that the team is on board with here. But at some point you need to show up. The next step, if the player would refuse, and again, you could try to go down the road of, hey, I'm going to claim on the Thursday before the game, my hamstring's tweaked. You can do those things. Yes. But at some point here, there's grievances, there's team action, there's a bunch of things in the CBA in terms of conduct detrimental to the team, including suspending a guy. I asked a GM this yesterday, what would happen if you got to it? Like, what would be the next step? You find the guy, he's still not practicing, but he's there to try to avoid the big fines. It would be suspending him. But the GM said that's also the option where now the whole thing explodes. Like the relationship is in really rough shape. That's kind of a last resort here. So that leads me to, I still believe that the best and most logical course of action here is that Jamar Chase plays with or without a deal. Let's see if they can actually make proactive steps toward getting a contract done. If not, he may have to go out there absent some kind of injury, real or imagined, that allows him.
And yeah, again, unlike what Schefter said and what a lot of people think, players can hold out and refuse to play, but it is a very dangerous road to go down. And this hold-in, faking injuries, claiming you're injured when you're not, you're really playing with fire here, as they would say, because all you're doing is risking a lot of issues overall-wise. Because, again, anything could happen. At the end of the day, the team could say, you know what, we're fed up with this crap. We're just going to start fining you. We're going to start, as he said there, you could suspend you. And next thing you know, now you have a 1-year suspension for faking injuries. And now your whole issue you had where you had a 2-year contract left, now you're suspended for a year. And you end up getting more fines than you get fined more times than, you get fined more money, than you're making. And now it's, again, costing you way too much. So there's a lot of issues when it comes to players holding in and holding out. Obviously, holding out's a little bit simpler because you don't get paid. You can sit out to week 8. The team can still fine you if they wanted to, but that's kind of how that whole situation works. But as, Tom says here, yeah, the last case scenario is possibly, suspending you. The last case scenario is that, but at some point, the team's going to say, listen, we told him to pass the physical. He passed the physical. He can't keep claiming he's injured if he passed the physical. Because if you take a physical and you're injured, it's going to show up. If you're hurt, it's going to show up in the physical. So there's only so much, a player can kind of go around and claim that, they're injured or something. If they take a physical and they pass it, it's kind of hard to prove that. And then the next point, I kind of foreseeable future here, well, what if he just plays, but he refuses to try? Like, he goes out there, he doesn't, like, try, he doesn't care, whatever. Well, that could also be detrimental versus the team. You know, you sign a contract with an NFL team, you sign a contract to play for them for a certain amount of years. If you refuse to play, you could be in, what's it called? You could actually get in trouble with your contract. Because the contract says you have to go out there and play. You have to try. You have to, you know, be an NFL player. You can't just go out there and say, I don't really care. I'm getting paid anyway. You could be in trouble with your team. And then you could face, again, suspension or heavy fines. So it's a whole entire mess. That's why I hope this situation just gets figured out on Thursday. And we can just announce on Thursday that, yes, Jamar Chase is under contract for the foreseeable future. And we can just get this over with, because it's a whole entire mess that really just doesn't need to be a thing right now. I mean, we're getting ready for the season. We're not worried about this crap. But, I mean, yeah, there's always ways that teams can protect themselves versus players that want to get paid. And he does talk about it here, Tom does, how, you know, Justin Jefferson played the last year of his contract. Even though he wanted a new one, he still played. And I think that's a very respectful thing to do, especially when it comes to, you know, you have a contract, you honor your contract. But overall wise, guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.